That bottle of water sitting in your fridge carries words like pure, natural, and untouched right on the label. Independent lab work tells a different story. Today we're looking at 5 of the most common bottled water brands sold across the United States, drawing on Consumer Reports data, FDA recall files, university research, and peer-reviewed studies. What showed up is worth knowing before you buy the next case. Arsenic. Forever chemicals that build up in the body and never fully leave. And in some cases, hundreds of thousands of microscopic plastic particles per liter, often coming from the bottle itself, not the source. These substances don't rinse out, they accumulate. The longer you've stuck with the same brand, the more that adds up. 5 brands to think twice about, ranked from least concerning to most serious. Then 5 options that held up under the same independent checks, so you know what to reach for instead. Number 5, Crystal Geyser, a longtime West Coast staple. The label has leaned hard on alpine spring language for decades. Independent testing and multiple lawsuits later challenged that claim after microplastic particles turned up in samples. A multi-country study found plastic fragments in more than 90% of major bottled waters tested. Crystal Geyser appeared among the brands named in related consumer actions. The packaging promised purity that the contents couldn't fully deliver. Number 4, Bubbly. The bright cans that turn sparkling water into an everyday office habit. Consumer Reports testing of carbonated waters found PFAS, per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, above the 1 part per trillion level that many independent scientists now flag as a concern. Bubbly was one of the brands that registered above that line. There are still no strict federal limits for PFAS in bottled water, so meeting a non-existent standard isn't the same as being clear. Sparkling waters as a group tended to show higher readings than still waters. Number 3, Zephyr Hills. A familiar East Coast name that has sat in garages and pantry shelves for generations. Consumer Reports recorded PFAS at levels above the independent 1 part per trillion threshold. The brand also appeared in microplastics-related litigation tied to the same large 2018 investigation. Company statements at the time pointed to internal tests showing non-detectable results. Different methods, different labs, and different transparency levels can produce very different pictures. Number 2, Avion, the French import with the mountain imagery and premium price tag. A major 1990 worldwide recall pulled tens of millions of bottles after benzene, a known carcinogen, was found in U.S. samples. Decades later, Consumer Reports testing placed the sparkling version among brands registering PFAS above the 1 part per trillion independent threshold. Long brand history and occasional contamination findings sit side by side. Loyalty and verified current safety remain separate questions. Number 1, Just Water. Positioned as the cleaner, more sustainable choice, paper-based carton, ethical messaging, sold in higher-end stores. Independent testing found arsenic levels that, in at least one sample set, approached or exceeded the federal limit of 10 parts per billion. In states such as New Jersey and New Hampshire, those same concentrations would fail the stricter 5 parts per billion standard applied to ordinary tap water. A product marketed as the responsible upgrade ended up with the highest arsenic reading among still available brands in a large Consumer Reports survey. That is the top of the avoid list. Now the options that actually held up. Best everyday pick, core hydration, purified through reverse osmosis, microfiltration, and UV treatment, then lightly remineralized. Publishes water quality data and has no recall history or PFAS flags in the independent tests reviewed here. Straightforward, widely available, and transparent about what is and isn't inside the bottle. Best can option, Liquid Death mountain-sourced water in aluminum cans. Aluminum avoids the high microplastic shedding documented in PET bottles. The 2024 Columbia work that found roughly 240,000 particles per liter was focused on plastic packaging. The interior liner is still present, so the reduction is not absolute, but it is measurable. Sourcing information is public and consistent. Best carton option: Just Water's cleaner sibling brands or flow-style plant-based packaging alternatives. Paperboard cartons eliminate the PET degradation pathway entirely. Naturally alkaline spring sources with published mineral and quality data. Lower packaging footprint than glass or plastic when the full life cycle is considered. Best glass import: Gerolsteiner or similar European mineral waters in glass. Naturally carbonated or still waters from protected European sources. Glass removes container-derived microplastics. Independent surveys have repeatedly shown lower particle counts in glass-packaged mineral waters compared with PET. Long documented sourcing histories and clean results on PFAS and heavy metals in the studies examined. Top overall: Iceland spring or equivalent high-latitude glacial/spring sources in glass. Water that filters through ancient volcanic or basaltic rock for years before bottling. No chemical treatment, regular third-party and governmental oversight, non-detectable arsenic, lead, and PFAS in published testing, and available in glass. No recall history, no class action record tied to contamination, and full transparency on daily lab checks. When the packaging, the source, and the independent data all line up cleanly, that is the standard the rest of the aisle is measured against. Before you buy any bottled water, look for published third-party laboratory reports, not company press releases. When glass is an option, choose it. The container is part of the product. You now have a shorter, clearer list of what to leave on the shelf and what is worth picking up instead.